Hey guys, hope we are well and we are back with another Elite Coach live session. Let's get this show on the road. As always, guys, these Elite Coach live sessions are an opportunity for us at SCE to help coaches in any field, personal trainers, sports coaches, S&C coaches, anybody within the fitness industry, help you guys try and move forward. So if you've got absolutely any questions, feel free to ask them below. Feel free to say hello. Feel free to give us some feedback. We're always here to help. But as always, guys, one part of this show that we really enjoy and we get a big kick from is making sure that you guys share your successes. So if you've had some wins, regardless of the size of them, whether it's just picking up a new client, starting a new training program, finishing a qualification, whatever it may be, drop your wins below. It'd be really cool to see what's been going on out there in the world of coaching, in the fitness industry. So share your wins, guys. It really is cool to see. It really does give us the fire to keep pushing and keep doing what we're doing. So today's Elite Coach Live, I'm flying solo. Nobody wanted to come and play for whatever reason. But so with that in mind, guys, any interaction, drop any questions in. I'll be more than happy to answer them. But today I want to chat about something is what stops coaches succeeding. And it's come off the back of quite a few mentor calls this week, as a lot of our content does. It typically comes from conversations with coaches who are out there in the field doing it day to day, and obviously the mentor calls that we have on a regular basis with these coaches, and we see sort of common themes. So I really want to dig into kind of what stops coaches succeeding. That's going to be the theme of today. But before I do that, I want to kick off a story from one of the mentoree students, and he actually gave me a bit of an update. And it's that time of year when seasons are coming to an end. So the rugby season, football season, typically it's a time when contracts come to an end. It's a time when clubs change direction. They possibly get new management in a different scenario. The club wants to try something new. So this time of year, a lot of coaches' contracts do come to an end, and it's on the surface of it, it might look like it's a bad thing, it's a negative thing. But actually, I chatted with this student and he had a great attitude, because he turned around and says, do you know what? I've got everything I needed to get out of it. I've built some really good relationships. I learned, I developed as a coach. And I'm not bitter, They decided to go in a different direction. I felt like I did the best I could. I can't move on and pursue other options. And I think that's a fantastic attitude that you've got to get. We've got to understand that this world is in S&C and in coaching, it can be very transient. When you work with a club, when you work within teams, you're not going to be part of the furniture. If you are, great. But one day the club owners might wake up and just say, we want to go in a completely different direction. The coaches might say, do you know what? I want to try something completely new. I want to get this new coach in. I want to get that. You could be out of a job within a drop of a hat, and when that day comes, and I hope it doesn't come for a lot of you guys, but when it does come, how you react to it and how you have readied yourself for the next step is really, really important. And I remember getting that call myself when just started planning all of pre-season, put a load of plans together for a rugby club. Lessons learned from the previous season. We've got some great results. Player availability was a key thing because we didn't have a massive squad. And I felt like I'd done a really good job on that. And the director of rugby rang me up and just said, listen, Steve, we can't afford to keep on an S&C coach. We're going to have to start spreading money into players' wages and stuff like that. And that was hard to take. But what it did do is it forced me to reflect and say, did I do everything I possibly could? What would I do differently next time? It prevented a really good opportunity for me to enhance my skills. So it's all about taking that negative and turn it into a positive. So just be mindful this time of year, although pre-season's about to kick off, it is a time when a lot of coaches do suddenly find themselves without a contract or clubs change direction and stuff like that as well. So if you're in that situation, I'd always say, what are you going to do to be prepared for the next step? What are you going to do to be prepared for the next stage? You know, are you constantly looking for opportunities? Are you constantly sharpening the saw? Are you constantly trying to become the best coach you can possibly be? So then you can push forward, so you can move on, and when another opportunity does come your way, you can grab it with both hands, you know, rather than just waiting for things to happen. Are you going out there and making things happen? So that's one thing I just want to share that story, because I think it's important that we do sometimes look at the ups and downs, the pros and cons of certain things within the industry. It's not all staying in the gym all day every day, just having great training sessions. There's lots of other different parts that we've always got to consider. And unfortunately, losing your contract is part of it. And it can come at the drop of a hat, especially when you think you're doing such a great job. I know Brendan shared stories of that, and I've spoke to many other elite professional coaches who've just kind of woke up one day and said, right, you're gone. And that's it. You know, I've heard of some people being let go in some of the most awful ways, you know. So it's all about making sure that we focus on what we can control, and that's making sure that we're constantly pushing ourselves to become better coaches. So let's share this win from Abby anyway. Found 2 very enthusiastic friends to be my case studies for my training program, then get my course moved. Abby, that is awesome. Having more than one is always better. So I'm really excited to see the progress for that. And just so keep killing it, mate. If you need anything, just reach out. So what stops coaches succeeding? So the reason why I put this up is because there's been some common themes that I want to sort of get out there and stuff. But first and foremost, with this question, success looks different for absolutely everybody. Okay, so we need to sort of, first and foremost, put a definition on what is success, because ultimately success for every single coach out there looks incredibly different. The landscape is just completely different. Some people want to have a multi-million-pound S&C facility business, etc., franchises, whatever it may be. Some people just want to train 1 or 2 clients. Some people just want to be volunteer coaches at their local athletics club. Some people just want to help out at the local netball club or whatever it may be. So success looks very different. But ultimately, succeeding is about constantly pushing forward and constantly making sure that you're pushing the needle. I think as coaches, we spend a lot of time pushing our athletes to get out of their comfort zone. But sometimes we don't get out of a comfort zone ourselves. So we don't review what does success look like, because what success looks like for you in year 1 of your coaching career might be just the norm. It's no longer what you deem as success. You've moved further on. You want to try and achieve. You've got aspirational views of seeing different things and achieving different things. So we constantly need to review that what does success mean. So for you guys that are watching now, it'd be really cool just to see what is your definition of success right now. And a good one that one of my mentors said to me was, if we're going to have this conversation in 12 months time, what would success look like within that 12 months? And I think that's a really powerful one. So if you are watching, if you've got a chance to drop it down, then drop that down. What does success look like in the next 12 months? And ultimately, that goes, part of it is, what's the definition of success? That's the first thing that I feel that stops coaches actually succeeding and becoming the best coach they can possibly be, because they don't spend that time looking at, well, what does success look like? We get caught up in the doing from time and time again, and just reactive. But what does success look like? And then once you get an understanding of what does success look like, you're able to reverse engineer it and pull it down and put sort of micro goals in there every single day, daily disciplines that you can work towards, that will ultimately lead you to success. And it's that one word that we talk about time and time again at SE. It's that clarity piece. You know, get clarity on what it is you're trying to achieve, what it is you're trying to do. And you don't have to have this big grandiose plan. Say if you're just starting out in your coaching journey, it's that one client. Have clarity on how are you going to have a positive impact on that person, that individual that you're working with. How are you going to do that? What does that look like? And then you just sort of get into that position where you can start to reverse engineer it and set yourself those daily targets, those daily disciplines, which kind of leads on to the next bit of what stops coaches succeeding. And I think the next part of it is understanding what type of coach you want to be. Because once you understand what type of coach you want to be, you can then look at it and go, right, I need to be able to do this, 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 and this, and this. We sometimes get caught up in, I need to do technical stuff. I need to learn technical stuff. I'm an S&C coach, so I'm just work on technical. And you go to all the webinars, you read all the journals, you read all of the books, but there's never any application there. It's, do you want to be an uber technical coach? Do you need to be an uber technical coach for what it is you're trying to achieve? Or do you need to work on your communication skills and bringing that technical knowledge and bringing it into the terminology and the language that the people that you're trying to serve? Do you need to work on that better? Or if you're trying to grow, is it any one point spending time working on technical knowledge if you don't know anything about business and marketing? Because if you're trying to promote and you want to reach as many people as you possibly can with an important message that you've got, you need to learn and master the art of marketing and business, because that's going to give you the platform that you're going to be able to propel on. So the S&C world and the coaching world, we sort of get comfortable with the fact that, right, I'm pushing myself forward by learning technical stuff. And that's great. And I'm not saying you shouldn't, but is it actually taking you closer to your goal of being a successful coach? Or just are you acquiring stuff that you're not actually going to be able to utilize, or you're not utilizing effectively? So this is the next bit that I want to sort of chat about, is that where are you focusing on? What type of coach are you wanting to become? I know some fantastic people out there, some incredible academics, but you know what? I would not put them in front of any of the youth athletes I coach, and I wouldn't put them in front of any of the teams that I work with, because it wouldn't work. They're great, super knowledgeable people, but they just would not get the best out of the demographic that I'm working with. So it's understanding what type of coach do you want to become, and what type of coach do you need to become in order to get your version of success. So this is why that clarity piece on what does success look like. So Andy, I've just wrote, success for me is, and I can't finish the sentence, time for a bit of self-reflection and consideration, I think. Absolutely. And Andy, I'm absolutely over the moon that you've put this comment down, because so many coaches don't do this. So many coaches just live for the day to day. They're doing the think about the next program, the sets and reps. It'd be great if this happened. What does success look like? What does it mean for you to be successful in your coaching career? And again, everybody's version is different, but you want to be singing to your own tune, right? You want to be dancing to your own tune, whatever that saying goes. I don't dance and I don't sing, so it's lost on me anyway. But you want to be making sure that you're following your own path. You want to be making sure that you're going towards whatever it is that's important to you. So it's important to spend some time doing that, So there we go. Let's have a look at what Abby's saying. It'd be good having an S&C program for stand-up paddleboarding that is available to new racers in my area in Dorset. What an awesome niche. And I don't know why, but I'm just seeing stand-up paddleboarding everywhere. Abby, is it getting bigger? Is it sort of blowing up? I just seem to be seeing stand-up paddleboards. I'm sure I saw one in Aldi the other day, but I'm just seeing like stand-up paddleboards everywhere. And yeah, but no, that's absolutely awesome. So if that's success for you, having an S&C program for that niche in your area, what do you then need to do? How are you going to raise your game to be able to facilitate that? What do you need to have in place to be able to get that launched? So then when you look at that, it's like, oh, that'd be really cool. I'd love to achieve that. So then just go, right, well, what do I need to be able to do in order to get that? Yes, let's get some qualifications, let's get some technical knowledge, but is there enough of a niche in the area to service that? Have I spoken to lots of people who are interested in starting out paddleboarding in Dorset? What do they want? What do they expect? Do they even know what an S&C program it looks like? So all of these things fall out the back of it. So then you can start to think, right, how am I going to create this product, this coaching business that is going to serve people and have a massive impact? Because that's what we should be here for, right? We should be striving to make a massive impact on the people that we're working with. So I love that one, Abby. And yeah, let me know about stand-up paddleboarding. I don't think I do so great on it. Give me a kettlebell any day of the week. So, Maria, let's have a little look. I'm going to block out my face. So, my success this month, finally finished a case study, completed the level 4, 2 new clients who played golf. One of my clients started to improve golf, got picked to play for the club. So, it's improvement, changed what said was down to training, recommended me, and after initial appointment, two new gentlemen signed up with me. Not a spot I expected would be the main, but I'm happy now, challenging me to look in a different direction. That's awesome. And I think we've got to look at that, the first part of that, and go, just focus on just delivering great coaching, focus on delivering great results, and then opportunity will fall off the back of it, so that's kind of the main thing from Maria's post there, is making sure that you're constantly delivering great coaching. But to be able to deliver great coaching, it does require a bit of soul searching and going in and saying, well, what does it mean to be a great coach? Because again, everybody's definition is completely different. So once you can start to think about what that definition is, and it typically comes from your philosophy and what you feel you stand for, you can constantly start moving the needle and pushing that further forward as well, which is a really cool thing. Very, very powerful thing. It's a thing that we do encourage a lot on the Elite Coach Mentorship, is what is your coaching philosophy? What are your values? What do you stand for? It's the stuff that you don't really see in a technical textbook, but why would you? But coaching philosophy is such a big area. It's your principles, it's your core values, it's what you stand for. Because what you stand for is ultimately the people that you attract. It's how you run your business, it's how you run your coaching sessions, and it's the thing that sets you apart from everybody else. Listen, there's great coaches out there. There could be an absolutely amazing coach who knows absolutely everything, gets great results with one set of athletes, could go into a different role, does not get the results. Reason being is just doesn't gel. He hasn't done a bad job, just doesn't gel with the team. So this is why, again, it's important to look at core values and coaching philosophy, because then you can start to think about, who am I wanting to serve and what type of athletes do I want to work with? What type of athletes do I want to attract to my business? When I go into a new group, what am I going to say? This is the non-negotiables of my coaching program. These are the things that make a big, big difference, but we spend a lot of time just thinking about sets and reps, periodization programs, the intricacies of sports science and all that. And it's really important. It has a massive place. But how are you going to deliver any of the message from that technical stuff if you don't have your coaching mission and your definition of success and your coaching philosophy in place? How are you going to be able to sort of dissect any of that technical knowledge from exercise science down and give it to your athletes and present the information in a way that they understand? I remember chatting to one of the sports scientists over at England at the FA, who was saying it was a massive, massive problem when they first started, when they went into a new structure. They set out this terminology for this block, and they just said, right, this is what we're going to call it, this is what we're going to call it. They didn't consult the players, and half the players didn't even know what it meant. So they all had their own definition of what does strength look like. And when they started having conversations with the players were like, well, strength means this to me. I need to be strong to do that. I need to have strong for this. So, right, I'm a striker, so I need to be strong so I can field off a defender. So when I'm jumping up for a header, I can get to the ball first. It's like, right, okay, so that's your strength, and we need to have some explosive power to jump up. Oh, yeah, I suppose. Okay, and then you want to try and beat defenders, right? So we're going to need to try and work on acceleration. Would be quick off the mark there. Yeah, but I don't need speed that way. I need speed this way. And he's just started to elaborate. He was saying the same thing. He just had a different way of saying it. So then the coaches were able to come away and just say, hang on, we've been trying to force this terminology on someone that they don't get it. No wonder they haven't bought into it. So this is why we try and educate coaches a lot of the time and just saying, what is your coaching philosophy and what you stand for? Learn the technical stuff, and then how are you going to distill that down into your practice? Hopefully that's making sense, guys. And again, drop any comments and questions and stuff. Okay. And the last part that I want to sort of chat about in terms of what I feel stops coaches succeeding based off the conversations that I have. Sometimes it's a tough one and it triggers people all the time. It's just doing the work. So many people at the moment make excuses for the reason why stuff doesn't happen. Oh, well, this. And I mean, if I hear anybody say that I don't have time, if I had a quid for every time somebody said I don't have time, I would be a very, very rich man, and I always counter argument that as just saying, well, what does your week look like? And then they map out the week and it's like, right, how much screen time have you got on your phone? And it's like, some of the most successful people have the same 24 hours in a day. What are you doing differently? Well, it's different for me. I've got kids. So do they. Well, I've got this stressor in my life. They run a multi-billion-pound company. Do you not think they have stress? Oh, yeah, but it's no. Doing the work consistently means showing up even when you don't want to show up. And if you're saying that I've got a lack of time, I don't have time to be able to do this, I don't have time to launch my coaching things. Like, how much time do you spend on social media? You can go into your phone, go into your settings, just getting your average weekly screen time. I bet you'll probably find a couple of days worth of screen work there, But ultimately, it's all about going back to that first thing, your definition of success, and then you've got to make that as powerful as you possibly can. You've got to get that connection with your definition of coach's success. And then you've got to make sure that you make that commitment to do the work consistently. I am talking about putting one Facebook post out there, doing one Facebook ad, and then it tanking, and then saying, well, Facebook ads don't work. That's absolute nonsense. I'm not saying, all right, well, I sent a couple of emails to local clubs and they never got back to me, so obviously they don't need coaches. That's not doing the work consistently. That's not showing up consistently. A lot of time when coaches stop succeeding, from the ones that I speak to, are the ones who don't do the daily actions. They get caught up in the whatever it may be. I've got to do this course. I'm going to do this, or I've got to do that. If I do this, this will be better. But it's like that story of filling up the glass. If you want to fill up the glass, you'll put the big rocks in first, then you put the pebbles in, and then you'll fill the sand around it. It's the same thing. It's what is the big rocks that need to be done on a daily basis that are going to move you closer forward to your coaching success. And sometimes it might be technical knowledge. Sometimes it might be daily disciplines, daily actions that you're going to take to get you further forward. But it's doing the work consistently, time and time again. You can't get around that. No one's going to do it for you. You can't start squatting and your athlete's going to get stronger. It doesn't work like that. I mean, it'd be great if it could, just knock out a few extra reps during the set and, my athlete would get my strength. It doesn't work like that. You've got to do the work consistently, and you can't wait for people to do the work for you. It's all on you. And every time you point the finger at something, there's three pointing back at you. I absolutely love that quote, and I hate that quote at the same time, because it always calls me out on my own BS. So every time you point the finger, there's three pointing back at you. So if you always saying, right, I'm not where I want to be because of Facebook ads or email marketing or networking or whatever it may be, the thing that you're pointing that at, there's always three pointing back at you is, well, did you master it? What data did you get off the back of it? Did you try something different? Did you split test? Did you consult with somebody who knows about Facebook ads? What did you learn from it? We're so quick to just chuck crap at other things and just say, well, it's because of that. But that's not the case. Every time you point the finger, there's three pointing back at you. So this is what I talk about when we're saying, right, when it comes to the end of a contract or something, did I do absolutely everything I could? Then you can walk away knowing that, okay, great. So that's just a few things that I feel that stops coaches succeeding. And it really is, that last bit is doing the work consistently. I spoke to one student, he's like, I'm not getting through my coursework as much as I want. It's like, right, okay, what does your weekly schedule look like? Well, I do 1 hour here on a Friday and I get it. That's not consistent. You know, that how is that consistent? You're saying you want to be this coach and you're dedicating 1 hour a week to it. How is that enough? Your definition of success is here, but yet your daily actions are down here, way down here. So once you get your definition of success, you best make sure that you're doing daily disciplines that are going to take you to that. Because guess what? Your daily disciplines and your daily work are the things that are going to get you to that. If your definition of success is up here, but yet your standards you hold to yourself and the things that you do on a daily basis are down here, guess what? You are never going to close the gap because you're not going to get enough momentum to start moving up the ladder. You're just going to be just treading water. And generally speaking, this definition of success just starts to disappear because you start to say, well, it'll never happen. So you just end up doing the same stuff you do all the time. And then you blame other stuff. It's all about taking responsibility. And a great coach is able to do that. We look at some of the coaching greats. I listened to a recent biography by Sir Bobby Robson, one of the best coaches ever. Somebody who I really do have up here. He's just a great, great man. And every situation he went through, whether it be through England, whether it was through the last turmoil at Newcastle, when he was at Barcelona, all of these things, every time when he had a difficult choice to make, he was able to turn around and say, I was able to stay true to myself. I stayed grounded for what I felt was right, and he was absolutely relentless, and he was able to work away and say, I still felt I had more to give, but whilst I was doing it, I felt I did everything I possibly could. And that's a sign of a great coach. Are you doing everything you possibly can to move the needle to get closer to you? So that's a little question that I want to ask you guys is, what's stopping you succeeding? And are you doing everything you possibly can to move you closer to success? And once you can start to do that, life becomes so much easier because you start to see things in a way that I'm doing it. I'm acting. I'm taking control. I'm not waiting for circumstance to change. I'm not waiting for an opportunity. I'm getting out there. I'm getting after it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it all the time. And that's where you'll end up. You'll end up getting success. It might not be the original definition of success, but you will get a version of success. But it all starts with you, and you've got to show up consistently. Just like we ask our athletes, you turn up consistently. You've got to sleep well. You've got to hydrate. You don't just eat one healthy meal 1 week and that's enough for it. You've got to do it consistently. Consistent action leads to great results. It's as simple as that. Really is. But it is hard, Right, let's have a little look at some of the comment here. I've got one from Abby as well. Gone crazy through lockdown. I'm a racer. Paid for my own coach, which supported the idea. So I'm doing this course. Director. Nice. Love it. So qualified saddle leader, good amount of paddlers wanting to support my qualification, embrace the program so we can make sure through the winter we're all at the best pre and post season. Love it. Love it. So you've identified some of the key things there, haven't you? So you've got to be gearing stuff towards winter. So keeping right, you've got people that you can speak to and get their experience and say, would this work? Would this work? Would this help? You've got your authority. So it's all about there now, Abby, is getting it done. Get through your qualifications, get through your technical knowledge, and start putting it out there, mate. And then your version of success in terms of having that S&C program for stand-up paddleboarders in your local area, you'll make it happen. But now it's all the ball's in your court, and that's the great thing. You've got control over that. Hugh, I try and speak facts. I do speak a lot of crap sometimes as well, but I try and speak from the heart from when it counts, mate. So I appreciate that comment. I really do appreciate it. And I appreciate all you guys that have commented. So before I shoot off, guys, has anybody got any questions, any feedback, anything that you disagree with? Feel free to chop it in. I'm going to wet my whistle with a lovely coffee that I made from the AeroPress. Side note, anybody in AeroPress who's watching this, anybody a fan of the AeroPress, absolute game changer. Absolute game changer. And if you don't know what the AeroPress, it's just a way of making coffee but it's quick, it's easy, always turns out to be a good brew. It's just and it costs you like 15 quid, 20 quid, you know, game changer. I don't need to clean the espresso machine. I can't even remember the last time I used my espresso machine. I just love it that much. Anyway, I digress. So on that note, guys, before I start going on to talking about coffee and stuff, although most S&C coaches absolutely love coffee. So there we go. There we go. Right. I'm struggling with the practical assessments. I'm fine running through it, but when the camera comes on, I go to pot and forget everything. So this is a bit level 4 specific, but the key thing with that is practice it. The first time you ever did squats, were they great? No. First time you ever stepped into a car or sat in a car, did you actually start driving it, smash it first time? No. Just get used to it. Just going through it. Just record as many sessions as you possibly can. If you feel like that camera is sort of letting you down, there's too much emphasis on the camera. Remember that the camera's there to capture your coaching. We want to capture your coaching. So focus on your coaching. You know, we're not expecting it to be a screenplay, perfect example, demonstration type video that we're then going to put on YouTube. We want to see you live coaching. We want to see that session flow. We want to see how you communicate with your athlete. We want to see how you get your message across. We don't just want to see, this is a clean. This is how we do it. We want you to get the technical points out there. We want to see how you're coaching. We want to see your body language. We want to see the way you feedback with your athlete. This is what we're assessing. We're assessing coaching ability according to a technical model. We're not action just for a demonstration. So hopefully that helps, Kim. But what I'd say, mate, just practice it more. Just have the camera going. Just run through 2 or 3 sessions. You know, and just get used to it. Don't focus on the camera. Focus on the client. You know, that's what we want to see. Okay, hopefully that helps there, Kim. But guys, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure. I appreciate absolutely everybody who's commented. I appreciate everybody who's watching this live, watching this on recording. I appreciate everybody I've been able to work with this week on our mentorship calls. And yeah, guys, have a great weekend. Have a great bank holiday. Go and do what you're going to do. But guys, remember, clarity and then consistent action. Only you can make it happen. Remember, for every time you point the finger, there's 3 pointing back at you. Making sure that you can answer these questions for every time there's 3 pointing back at you. Have a great one, guys, and make it happen.